Alright, I'm here with the updated look of my Switch collection for 2018. Last year I kind of said, oh, is this maybe the best year one for a system? Which I don't know about that, but it's a pretty solid year one. But as for year two, I think it slowed down a little bit. Still a pretty decent year. Some games I just didn't, not a whole lot. A lot of Wii U ports, which you'll see I did not pick up. So there's some really great games on the Switch like Bayonetta 2 or Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze or Captain Toad that I think are really great games worth picking up, but I already have them on Wii U. Those are three, though, that I would highly recommend if you have never played them, if you didn't get them on Wii U, because they're all really great games. But I'll just jump into my collection now. Got a pretty decent stack, actually, here for, 2 years of the system being out there. Got here first ARMS, which I really liked ARMS. I liked it a lot. I think it's a lot of fun. And it sold pretty well too. I think it hit 2 million, which is pretty darn good for a new IP fighting game. I really think it's a lot of fun. It feels like something that would have maybe come out on the Dreamcast. And I'm not saying that in a bad way, saying, oh, it plays like a game from 20 years ago. No, I'm saying it more as like it plays really well, but that kind of style and that kind of quirkiness didn't, that feels really Dreamcast-esque. But I really like it. I had a fun time with it. Another fighting game here, Blowies Blue Cross Tag Battle. This is a Blowies Blue game that crosses over as well with Persona 4 and what is that? Is it Rooster Teeth who makes that? Ruby, the online show, and I don't even know what the fourth thing is. It's something I'm not familiar with. I'm a big Persona fan, so I picked it up that way. But also, Blaze Blue is a very, very solid fighting series. Arc System Works is, top of the game with all that. Really good pixel art. I'm not a huge fighting game guy, but I can really appreciate it is a very well done fighting game. Disgaea 5 Complete. I couldn't really get into this one. I really like, RPGs and strategy games. But for some reason, I just could not get into this as well as I wanted to. Maybe I got to give it another shot at some point. Because I didn't get too far into it. But just couldn't really get into it. Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. It's pretty cool to have Skyrim on the Switch. It's a very dated game. Maybe shouldn't be this dated for, it's only, 7 years old now. But, a very impressive game. It's always cool to have something like that on a handheld. Fire Emblem Warriors. Fire Emblem Warriors is a Musou game, much like, Dynasty Warriors, Hyrule Warriors, and it is set in the Fire Emblem world. That is all I really have to say. If that sounds interesting to you, then I'd say pick it up. If it doesn't, then, I wouldn't, don't fool yourself. You're not going to want it. Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition. Hyrule Warriors, this is my third time buying Hyrule Warriors. Hyrule Warriors is fun. It's like I said, it's a Musou game in the world of Zelda. A lot of really cool, I guess, fan service, not in the sex type way, but in the a lot of different characters, a lot of different Zelda fun. It has all the content from the Wii U and 3DS versions, so I'd say, if you're in for a fun time, I'd give it a go. L.A. Noire, which I wish the game covers didn't have to get, messed up with that stupid crap. But I really like L.A. Noire. I never played it until this Switch port, actually. I'm not a big Rockstar guy. I don't care for Grand Theft Auto. Red Dead doesn't really interest me, anything like that. But I'm big into, investigation, detective type games like that, like Ace Attorney or, whatever. So I figured I'd give it a shot. And I really liked my time with it. I know it's not, developed by Rockstar. It's developed by Team Bondi, which is no longer around, but I really liked it. I think it's a pretty good game. And the Switch port's pretty good, I gotta say. It's cool to have a game like that on a, a handheld system. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. There's not much I can say about Breath of the Wild that I, hasn't already been said, but I really like it. I think it's great. I don't know if it's not my favorite Zelda game. I'd say it's probably top 5, of course, but there's some things I don't like about it. I don't really care for the what are they called? The Divine Beast guys, which are almost like dungeons, but they're terrible. I can't stand them. I wish that we would have just had normal Zelda dungeons. Because I really, you play Ocarina of Time, you play Wind Waker, partially because you could get to solve these dungeons. I mean, some of the games that I care for less, I don't want to say worse games because they're not terrible, but some of the games I care for less, like Twilight Princess or Skyward Sword, I really think you could still say, oh, well, I don't like this, but man, those dungeons are really good. And it's with, Breath of the Wild, you get that kind of opposite where it's like, wow, I really like everything else, but those dungeons aren't very good. I'd love to see a follow-up kind of in the vein of Majora's Mask, where this time it's kind of focused more on the world and the side quests, and the side quests a little fleshed out, because the side quests in this are not very good either. It's like, go fetch me this or whatever. I would like to see maybe a more Majora's Mask like sequel. That's kind of my dream. Got here Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. It's kind of a surprise hit, actually. I don't care about the Rabbids one bit. I don't. So, you see the Mario meets the Rabbids. It's kind of like, oh, why can't this be, Rayman crossing over? Or just, why do they have to be the Rabbids? But that's a really, really solid strategy game. I really enjoyed my time with it. I had a really good time with it. I never played that DLC. They did like Donkey Kong DLC. Maybe one day I'll jump into that. But for what it's worth, I really enjoyed it. And it's, I think you can probably grab it for pretty cheap now since it's a Ubisoft game. And it's published by Ubisoft too, which is interesting, but it's a Ubisoft game. Their games usually drop in price more, while Nintendo usually tries to keep their prices up. But I really, really enjoyed that one, and I really recommend it. Mario Tennis Aces. Mario Tennis Aces, the tennis gameplay is great. I feel like it didn't quite hit the mark. The whole game as a whole, it didn't quite hit the mark for me. Tennis gameplay is great. It's really fun. It's pretty good. I don't know. I just felt like it's kind of barren for content. And they're adding new characters and stuff, but the single player mode was not very good. And I didn't finish it, but my friend finished it. He said it took like an hour and a half, 2 hours, which is, a little underwhelming. I guess I don't know what do you expect out of a single player mode for tennis, but it's a very, very solid tennis game though. So if you're looking for, a Virtua Tennis or even, Mario Tennis replacement, there you go. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I've talked about Mario Kart 8 many times. It's great. It's my favorite Mario Kart game. The stages all look great. It's funny. I don't know. I think I did 3 or 4 Wii U collection videos, and now this is my second Switch collection video. So I've had the opportunity to talk about Mario Kart 8 like 6 times. Yeah, I like it. I don't know what to say. It's great. It's the best kart racer on the market. I'm looking forward to seeing how that Sonic Racer and the Crash Bandicoot racing game remaster turn out. But, I mean, you're not going to top Mario Kart. Mega Man 11. Mega Man 11 is another one that kind of missed the mark for me. I'm a big Mega Man fan, but I don't know. This one felt like it took a lot of what made the old games great, which is good. That's what you want. But it also took a lot that you might have wanted to modernize as well. I felt like the levels were maybe a little bit too long. I think that's just me. But the art style is great. I was a little wary after seeing it wasn't like a 2D. It was like a 2.5D. It's not a 2D sprite-based game. It's 2.5D. But the art's really great. The backgrounds really pop. I really liked it a lot in that way. But I feel if you were to rank all, now 11 Mega Man mainline games, it'd probably be above like 7 and 8 and 1. But I don't know how much higher it would be than that. Which I guess is not a bad thing. It's in good company. More Mega Man here. Mega Man Legacy Collection 1 and 2. It is a shame that Mega Man Legacy Collection 2 comes on a download code. That's, not great. I don't know why they didn't just do it, because these games don't take up that much space. They could have, not cheaped out and put it on a slightly bigger card. But Capcom's going to be Capcom. That's how they are. I don't really care in the long run because, Legacy Collection 2, I guess, has 9 and 10 on it. But, I mean, if you're going to be wanting to play, I mean, you want it 1 through 6, and that's on the cartridges at least. That's the ones you're going to probably want to play the most. And it doesn't hurt to have a download. I don't really care too much. But I know some people were, like, up in arms about it. I didn't really care. But same thing happened with Legacy X Collection 2 is also on there. But, yeah, it's a really solidly well-done collection of the Mega Man X and Mega Man games that I would recommend. Night Trap from Limited Run. I think I grabbed this just out of, it's a cool thing to do. It's cool that Limited Run is doing Switch stuff now. I don't think I'm going to try to get every, some people are trying to get every Switch game, every limited run game. I don't really care about that. Those are the ones that I speak to me. And I think that's really cool. I think it's cool that just the idea of Howard Lincoln saying, oh, well, Night Trap will never be on a Nintendo system. And here it is now, 20 years later. So I think that's just a neat piece to have in the collection. Octopath Traveler. I'm a huge RPG guy, and this one just didn't do it for me. The art style's cool, I guess. I don't know. Sometimes it looks a little weird, but the art style's cool. And I was really into it when I first started playing it. I started with one of the dancer? I forget her name. I started with her, and the story was kind of interesting. The battle system's really great. The music's really great. But, the further I went on, I was playing these other guys' stories. I'm like, these are terrible. I played the guy. It's like a knight, and ugh. I just couldn't take it. I don't know, with RPGs, I'm kind of particular. I'm big into them, but I don't really like the high fantasy themes, and that's kind of what I was jumping into a little bit. So I don't know. I mean, if you're an RPG person, you might like it. If you like old school RPGs, you might like it. What another thing that bothered me is it has random encounters, which I feel like, I don't know, it's 2018. Do we need random encounters? I mean, we had random encounters because, system limitations at the time, but now we're on, the Switch. You can do non-random encounters on this thing. I just don't like that. I wish they would have changed it up. But I don't want to say it's a bad game, because it's definitely not a bad game. In the end, it didn't really turn out to be for me. Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. I had fun with this one. I've kind of been, not as huge into Pokemon. The last time I really played in any capacity was Black and White 2 that I played to the end. I finished that one. I played, some of X. I've kind of jumped into them, but I never really went too far. But I played a lot of this one. Had a lot of fun. I like having it in HD. I like, revisiting Gen 1 with, it's almost like a sequel to Gen 1. It's like it's alternate world Gen 1, which is cool. So I liked it. I know some people don't like that it's casual, and I can understand that. But for me, it kind of took out all the stuff I hate about Pokemon. And I like that it was casual, but I can understand why the main line, the main fans or hardcore fans are not into it. But I mean, you got the next generation coming out soon enough. South Park: The Fractured Butthole. I'm not into South Park. I don't watch the show. I mean, the most I've seen of the show is probably, some clips on Twitter or whatever that I've seen. But I heard good things about Stick of Truth, and I figured, this would be a fun one to pick up. I heard good things about this one too. I figured this would be a fun one to pick up on Switch. It's a good Switch port. It's a really, really solid game, actually. A really, really good strategy game that, you wouldn't maybe expect out of a South Park game. Usually with licensed games, they're a mixed bag, but I don't know, maybe that's changing now. We got those Arkham games were good. The new Spider-Man game's great. This is good. The last one was good. So maybe it's changing, but I really, really enjoyed it. It's funny. It's fun. The battle system's actually pretty complex and pretty interesting. I gotta say, it's a solid game. Super Bomberman R. It's cool to see Bomberman back. This box art's great. I hate that it's kind of ruined by this Bomberman 33rd, which is the weirdest, the weirdest thing to celebrate is the 33rd anniversary. Like, okay. But I don't know. It's fun. The art style's pretty cool. They're adding, I was going to say it's maybe lacking content, but they're adding so much, and they still add to it, which is crazy to me. They're adding, like Pyramid Head Bomber and Solid Snake Bombers. I've seen it on Twitter or whatever. So they add a lot to it, which is cool. It's all free content and everything. So, I don't know. Maybe they give it a go. I like Bomberman, so maybe I'll pop it back in. Splatoon 2. Splatoon 2 is fun. I like Splatoon. I like Splatoon 2. This feels... it feels almost like an enhanced port with new stuff. I know people are going to get mad because it's not. It really isn't. It's Splatoon 2 through and through with all the stuff it has. But I don't know. It just maybe feels a little bit like the first in a lot of ways, which isn't bad. I'm not trying to say it's like they just, lied to us and upgraded that way. No, they didn't. It's a sequel. It's a true sequel. It's disappointing to see how bad the internet is. And with trying to play with your friends and everything, it's a little bit of a shame, but that's still a great game. Super Mario Odyssey. This is my favorite game on the system at the moment. Super Mario Odyssey is just so much fun. I really am glad that they went back to the kind of open structured, open level exploring type collectathon uh, version of Mario that you get from 64, you get from Sunshine. Um, I like Galaxy and Galaxy 2 a lot, but I prefer that other way of doing it. So I really liked it. I really think it's great. It looks great. I really love the style. I like how it looks. I like how the worlds really are colorful and really interesting. I think it's a great game. The newest edition, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and it is definitely the Ultimate Edition. You can see how many characters there are. It's insane. It's insane how much content is in here. The newcomers are all really cool. I was really thought it was really cool to see. Simon and Richter Belmont. I know a lot of people were happy about. Ridley and K. Rool were very, very requested characters for as long as I've been into Smash Brothers. Everyone wanted those, so that's cool. Persona 5 protagonist as first DLC is incredible to me. It was really exciting for me. I was watching the Game Awards and I saw the trailer come up, and I was like, "Oh, it's Persona 5 stuff, great!" And then I see the E10 Plus rating, and I'm like, "What? What are they going to do with Persona 5? That's E10 Plus. I mean, all the spin-offs are teen. The game's rated M." And then it's like, this is going to be Smash Brothers, isn't it? And I kind of didn't believe it. And when it did the Smash Brothers reveal, I was like, oh man, that's awesome. So yeah, I've been playing it. I kind of got sidetracked there. I've been playing it. I've unlocked all the characters now. I was doing that the World of Light single player mode, and I'm not crazy about it. It feels a little bit mindless. It feels a little bit repetitive. I'm not crazy about it. There's no cutscenes besides the first one and like really small minor ones that you could just look up on YouTube. They're nothing basically. So that's a little bit disappointing, but I understand. I mean, there's so much other content in the game. I wouldn't say it's bad, or I wouldn't say it taints the game or anything. And if you're into, trying to do event mode matches kind of like that, then it's for you. But yeah, I went and just kind of unlocked all the characters by playing regularly. Excited to play with some friends. Excited to see who the new DLC characters, if they're starting off with the Persona 5 protagonist. That's awesome. So moving on here, the physical release of Undertale from Fangamer. This is actually, Fangamer put this out. You can get it on their website, or you can get it at Best Buy, which is pretty cool. I like Undertale. It's really, really neat game. It's a funny game. It's really, really unique, really, really interesting. I played it on the Vita, which had an easy platinum that kind of just joked around. It was it's a funny platinum, actually. But yeah, I like it. I know a lot of people like to hate on it because it got really popular like 3 years ago. It has some kind of weird fans because of how popular it got. But it's a really, really good game. And worth a shot. The physical copy is $30, but the digital, it's only like 15 on the eShop. And it's on everything except the Xbox, I think. I don't think it's on there. So I'd give it a go. Valkyria Chronicles 4. I'm a big fan of Valkyria Chronicles 1. I jumped into this. I want to actually dedicate some time to this, maybe in the lull in like January, February, somewhere around there. But because I jumped into this and I was like, man, this is more Valkyria Chronicles. This is a lot like the first one. Because, with 2, we never got 3. Those kind of went a little bit more handheld, more simplified in a way. They were a little different. But this is a lot like just the first Valkyria Chronicles. But, a lot of other stuff was coming out at the time. So I was like, I want to dedicate some time to this. Probably either, beginning of the year when there's not many games coming out. I want to dedicate some time to that, to really dive into that. I think I'm going to really enjoy it. And then lastly, Xenoblade Chronicles 2. This is the steelbook that came with the special edition. What I hate about the steelbook is that the name of the game's not on the spine. I already hate steelbooks. I don't know, I've said this before in my videos. I hate steelbooks. They don't look good on the shelf next to the other games. But, this doesn't have anything on the spine. It looks ridiculous. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is a great game. I really, really like it. I didn't finish it by any means. I do every once in a while. I'll be like, I want to play more of Xenoblade Chronicles 2. And I will jump into the game, play it for maybe, a good chunk of the game, and then I'll jump out. So maybe one day I'll beat the game, but I just kind of chip away at it when I'm in the mood. I really like it. The battle system's all much improved, at least in my opinion, from the first 2 Xenoblade, and Xenoblade Cross. It's much improved from that. It kind of got rid of that. What was that? The stupid bar that you had to go through, and now you kind of do it with the buttons, almost like, you have the face buttons each corresponding to something, which is much, much better. So I really like it though. Other than that, I think it's a good game. It's has a really nice art style. I think some of the characters look a little goofy, but other than that, I think the world's really great. You know, that's what the first Xenoblade and Xenoblade Cross were a lot like that, where they really made a great world, and I think this continues that. But that's all for this video. Let me know. Obviously I said that there's some Switch games I didn't pick up. I don't have Super Mario Party yet. I do want to get that one though. And I want to get World tripping over my worlds here. The World Ends With You final remix. I want to grab that as well. Maybe I'll grab that soon. But other than that, let me know if there's any games that I'm missing from my collection that you would recommend. Let me know if you want me to do an updated look at the what's on my Switch. I did one last year. Let me know if you want me to do another one of those. I don't know if there's a whole lot to add to that, but I'll give it a shot. I'll see if it's worth doing. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and comment, you know, like I said, with anything, I guess. You can tell me about games, you can tell me about, you know, anything, I don't care. Leave a stupid comment, I don't care. Subscribe if you're not. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Objo Gaming, and I'll see you next time.